Is shaking up to be quite the bloody award season, ain't it? I don't know what that was. Hey guys, welcome to the Movie Buddy. I am Josh Blumenkrantz, and today we're going to give our BAFTA predictions. It's winding down in this award season, and this is going to kind of determine a few categories that are key here. So, well, let's get to it. Let's start with supporting actress, and the nominees are Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, Selena Gomez for Emilia Perez, she actually made it here, Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Jamie Lee Curtis for The Last Showgirl, and Ariana Grande for Wicked. So I just think Zoe Saldana's just sweeping right now. She's doing good. She already won the Golden Globe and the Critics' Choice Award. So I just feel like BAFTA's going to go for this. Despite the Emilia Perez criticism, Zoe's going to take this. Can't see anyone else doing it. Next up, we have supporting actor. And the nominees are Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Kieran Culkin for Real Pain, Yor Borsov for Anora, Clarence Macklin for Sing Sing, Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice, and Guy Pearce for The Brutalist. So, I think it's pretty locked up. I think Kieran Culkin's going to take it for Real Pain. I mean, he won Golden Globe and the Critics' Choice Award, so it's natural that he will follow suit. Despite not having a Best Picture nomination, it just feels like it's going to be him. Now, this could be the award show, though, that he does lose, and he could lose to either Yor Borsov for Anora or Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown. But I really do think that Kieran Culkin's got this. But hey, he could lose. It's possible. We'll see. Next up, we have special visual effects. And the nominees are Better Man, Dune Part 2, Gladiator 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. So I feel like it's going to be Dune Part 2. It's just the most extravagant of all of these categories. But this is BAFTA we're talking about. And they could go for one of their own. I mean, they could go for Better Man. They love apes, ape movies. We got 3 ape movies. We got that and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and Wicked. So, I mean, it could be one of those, but I'm feeling pretty good that it's going to be Dune Part 2. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. Next up, we have sound, and this is a weird one. We have Blitz, Dune Part 2, Gladiator 2, The Substance, and Wicked. So for sound, I don't even know what's winning the Oscar for sound right now, to be honest, but I'm just going to go and stick with Dune Part 2. We'll see. I feel like I'm wrong on that, but it's either that or Wicked, I think, but I don't know. I'm just sticking with Dune Part 2 for this too. Next up, we have production design, and the nominees are Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, The Brutalist, and Wicked. Okay, so I feel like Wicked would be the one. It's very showy. I feel like that is the one that's locked to win the Oscar, honestly, but this is BAFTA we're talking about. And I feel like they could love Conclave enough to maybe want to give it to that. Or they could go with Nosferatu, because it's very showy work. It's amazing. Or they could go with The Brutalist. It's about architecture. And I feel like The Brutalist is going to do very well come the evening of the BAFTAs. So I'm going to go with Wicked for now, but watch out for The Brutalist. Next up, we have Outstanding Debut by a British writer, director, or producer. And the nominees are Horde, Kneecap, Monkey Man, Santosh, and Sister Midnight. So I think it's just going to be Kneecap. It's the more flashier of all of these movies, although I do love Monkey Man. That was a fun movie for me. But yeah, I think it's going to be Kneecap. It just seems like a done deal. Be shocked if any of these other ones take it. Next up, we're doing Outstanding British Film. And there's 10 of them. Okay, so we got Bird, Blitz, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Hard Truths, Kneecap, Lee, Love Lies Bleeding, The Outrun, and Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. So, I think it's obvious what's going to win Outstanding British Film. And it's Conclave. It's going to have the most nominees out of all of these films here. I mean, they're all just happy to be here. They love their own. They love the British. And Conclave, it's just politically in the hype right now. And people love the movie. So, yeah, I think it's going to be Conclave. Next up, we got Original Screenplay. And the nominees are Real Pain, Anora, Kneecap, The Brutalist, and The Substance. Now this is where it's going to get a little tricky, because I do think Anora is on a wave right now, winning the PGA, the DGA, that Critics' Choice Award for film. It's going to probably win WGA this weekend. So the question is it going to win a screenplay prize finally at BAFTA, a major award? Or does Coraline continue winning because she won for The Substance at the Critics' Choice Awards, and she won the Cannes Award too? It's going to be between those two. And I am inclined to stick with Anora for now until further notice. So I will say that's Sean Baker, but watch out for Coraline. She could come up and take this. If she does, she's winning the Oscar. I think it's a done deal for that, but we'll see. Next up, we got original score, and the nominees are Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Brutalist, and The Wild Robot. So here is what I'm thinking. We've had no frontrunner this entire time because Challengers has been winning everything, and now it's finally not nominated here. So I think it's between Conclave and The Brutalist, and I'm gonna go with The Brutalist. It's just the better score out of all of them. It's amazing. It's just so rich and pure, and it's emotional. I love the music of The Brutalist, so I'm choosing it, and I think it's gonna finally start winning here. The next category is Makeup and Hair, and the nominees are Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. And I am going with The Substance. It's a lock. I think it's going to win the Oscar for sure. The other thing that I think could maybe beat it would be maybe Nosferatu, but honestly, I think it's going to be The Substance. Feel good about it. Plus, if we're going with the whole actor makeup combo, this is where it maybe starts. We'll see. Next one we have leading actress, and the nominees are Mikey Madison for Anora, Carlos Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez, Marianne Jean-Baptiste for Hard Truths, Saoirse Ronan for The Outrun, Demi Moore for The Substance, and Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. And I am gonna go with Demi Moore because people are inclined to vote for the legacy person for this. Unless she loses and the Anora wave does take Mikey Madison in for this. It's between those two. I really do think so. Unless Cynthia Erivo comes out of nowhere with Wicked because of her being English. Maybe. But I do think it's gonna be Demi Moore for The Substance. It's the legacy win. They love that. The next category is Best Actor, and the nominees are Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, Hugh Grant for Heretic, Colman Domingo for Sing Sing, Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, and Adrien Brody for The Brutalist. And I am inclined to go with Adrien Brody for The Brutalist. He's won everything so far. Amazing speeches. He's the best actor in this category, hands down. But if he's going to lose, it would be to Timothée Chalamet, probably. But I just think he's still young. He's not going to get it. Not for being Bob Dylan. But yeah, I think it's going to be Adrien Brody, and I feel pretty good about it. Next up, we have Film Not in an English Language. And the nominees are All We Imagine Is Light, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Kneecap, and The Seed of the Sacred Fig. Now, I know there's so much controversy going on with Emilia Perez right now, but I'm inclined to think that the Europeans do not care about that, and they will still go vote for it because they love the movie at the end of the day. So yes, I am going to choose Emilia Perez, but watch out for I'm Still Here. If I'm Still Here wins this, then we're going to have a bigger conversation come Oscar time. But for now, for the BAFTAs, I'm choosing Emilia Perez. We're going to go a little different here and go for the EE Rising Star Award. It's a special award that the BAFTAs have to commemorate a young person on the rise. And the nominees are Marissa Abela, Jarrell Jerome, David Johnson, Mikey Madison, and Naban Rizwan. So, of course I want Mikey to win it, but they usually go for an English person here. So it's going to be, I think, between Marissa Abela and David Johnson. So I'm going to have to go with Marissa Bella. I mean, she's Amy Winehouse, for God's sakes. I mean, it feels right. So I'm going to go with that. We'll see what happens. The next category is editing, and the nominees are Anora, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, and Kneecap. And I am inclined to go with, this is hard. Because there's no front runner in editing right now. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna go with, it's either Anora or Conclave. But like if Anora's gonna win, but no, this is the BAFTAs though. I'm gonna go with Conclave. I don't feel good about it, but I'm gonna go with Conclave. But if Anora wins editing here, watch out, because Sean Baker's about to win like a bunch of Oscars come Oscar time if this happens. But we'll see. We shall see. Yeah, I'm going with Conclave for editing. Next up, we have a documentary, and the nominees are Black Box Diaries, Daughters, No Other Land, Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, and Will and Harper. And a bunch of these are not nominated for the Oscar at all, except you gotta go with No Other Land, because that's the best doc of the year, hands down. So, yeah, it just seems like a no-brainer. Go with No Other Land. Done. Next up is a category that could go so many different ways, I think. And it's Best Director. And the nominees are Sean Baker for Anora, Edward Berger for Conclave, Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2, Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez, Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, and Corley Fargit for The Substance. So, I know Sean Baker had a great weekend, and I'm still going to stick with Sean Baker because I don't know if Brady Corbet is going to get it for The Brutalist. Unless they really love The Brutalist and go for it, I'm just going with Sean Baker. That's it. It's Sean Baker. It's Sean Baker. And the next category is costume design, and the nominees are A Complete Unknown, Blitz, Conclave, Nosferatu, and Wicked. And I'm going to go with Wicked. It is a slam dunk. The costumes are amazing. What would beat it? Maybe Nosferatu, but it's probably going to be Wicked. It's Wicked. It's definitely Wicked. Let's be real, folks. It's Wicked. Next we have Adapted Screenplay, and the nominees are A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. And it's been winning everything. It's going to be Conclave. It has to be. I mean, it's well written, just cuts deep into the story about these popes, and I really can't see anything else taking it unless, like I said earlier, the criticism against Emilia Perez, is it really a thing in Europe? I don't know. We'll see, but either way, it's going to be Conclave. And the next category is cinematography, and the nominees are Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, and The Brutalist. And my prediction for this category is going to be The Brutalist. I just feel like The Brutalist has to win something, or at least a few things at this award show. And I feel like, given the scope of the architecture, the amazing shots, I just feel like BAFTA is going to go for that. And I think Brutalist feels like a good cinematography winner to me. So yeah, I'm picking The Brutalist for cinematography. The next category, casting. And the nominees are A Complete Unknown, Anora, Conclave, Kneecap, and The Apprentice. So the thing with this category is, typically with casting categories, if you choose the winner of this, they usually go on to win picture. So The Brutalist is not nominated here. So this inclines me to want to go with either Conclave or Anora. And I just kind of feel like, the BAFTAs, they got to go for their own. So I'm going to go with Conclave on this one. I just feel like the casting of this could potentially get it that Best Picture win in the BAFTAs, at least. Maybe Oscars, we'll see. But yeah, I just feel like this is going to be that. Now, if Anora wins this, watch out, because I think it'll win picture for BAFTA. And it's just been sweeping lately. So That would be pretty crazy how loved this movie is. But yeah, for now, I'm going for Conclave. And the next category is animated film. And the nominees are Flow, Inside Out 2, The Wild Robot, and Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. And there's only 4 nominees for this, so it's pretty interesting, different than the Oscars. I'm gonna go with Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. It's home turf, very English. It's a very good movie. People love it. At least people who have seen the movie. But, I mean, for the most part, they're beloved characters. Now, it could be The Wild Robot. I don't think it's going to be Flo. If it is, then I think Flo might win the Oscar by that point, because it's been doing very well. But I think The Wild Robot could take this. But again, this is BAFTA, not Oscar. And I feel like Wallace and Gromit fits the bill. So, yes, I am going with Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. And the final category... We made it. We're finally here. It is Best Picture. And the nominees are A Complete Unknown, Anora, Amelia Perez, Conclave, and The Brutalist. Now this is a little tricky, although most people are going to probably predict The Brutalist. I think I might be one of those people. But I can make a case for other films like Anora. It's been doing so well. It's been sweeping. It just won the WGA today as of this recording. So it could take it, maybe, if BAFTA really goes for it. They've campaigned a lot in London, so I'm not knocking Anora. It could happen. But also Conclave. What if that's a thing? It's been winning ensemble prizes. I can see it. It's very European. It happens in Europe. It could be Conclave. But, and I don't know, like in Amelia Perez, the controversy, maybe they just don't care and they love the movie that much. Got so many nominations, so I don't know if that's going to affect anything with the criticism. Ooh, but I feel like The Brutalist is right. I feel like it's their last stand for one thing. If The Brutalist doesn't win a single thing here except for Adrian Brody, then it's in trouble. I just feel like this is the place that it would do that. Really, it's between that and Conclave in my mind, but yeah. I'm going with The Brutalist. That is my final pick for film. And there you have it. Those are my 2025 BAFTA predictions. I hope you enjoyed listening to them as much as I did, because, man, there are so many categories for BAFTAs. And a few I skipped, but we got the primary ones down. If you like what you heard, go ahead and hit the subscribe button on the channel. We appreciate your feedback and support. And remember, when you go to the movies, bring your buddy and talk about movies. Until next time, bye!